than a week on from the debate, most reporting states Harris has won this particular debate, but how much does that actually mean? Does it change the fundamentals of the race for the White House?
Hi, great to be with you, Sally. It does not change the absolute fundamentals, at the very least not as we sit here. We'll probably have new polling data this coming week that should tell us if she got a debate kind of bounce. Certainly, the debate was very important for Kamala Harris to introduce herself to the nation, but in that sense, it was more about showing that she could become presidential, showing that she had the timber and the stature to hold the most powerful office in the world, and that seemed to be a success as far as she was concerned. As far as President Trump was concerned, his goal was to try to put her on the ropes, get her to defend herself and defend her record. That did not happen. She spent very much of the whole time keeping him on the back foot, and that was to her credit and to his demise. Now, coming out of the debate, she is still very much focused on swing states. She's practically camped out in Pennsylvania. She's been there for the last few days, while Trump is going back and forth to swing states out west and back east and in the south. So that shows how he fears what the debate might have done to his lead.
As I mentioned at the top there before we came to the interview with you, a lot of time has been spent laughing at Trump's attacks on immigrants eating pets. Obviously, it's had serious repercussions for Haitians in Springfield. But is this a distraction for Trump to keep him in the headlines no matter what and to sort of avoid any serious critique of his policy?
It would seem so. I mean, basically, if you have something, if you're a standard politician, I guess I should say, and you've got a remark that's been either debunked or it's been shown to target a particular group of people and bring harm to a city, you normally stay away from that remark. But Trump is leaning in full throttle, in part because it keeps him in the headlines, but also in part because it stokes a lot of fear among his base. A lot of places are like Springfield where they're seeing an influx of immigrants, and that's kind of chafing against the social order, not just in having a group of outsiders coming into a community, but also in putting a strain on social services. So certainly he's trying to use Springfield as an exemplar of what he thinks is rest of the country is going through. He's also mentioned a couple of other cities in there, Colorado City in there as well. So he's using it not only to keep himself in the headlines, but also to stoke up the base and keep the fear-mongering going, no matter the cost to the people that he's actually pointing the finger at.
You mentioned that Harris is camping out in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania. She's really pushing for this line that she is working for the working class people. Polls suggest that Harris might struggle, though, to replicate some of Biden's success from last election across Pennsylvania. Where do you see her position in these swing states?
I think she's trying to max out her Democratic vote. I think that's a task that's pretty much taken care of. You saw the enthusiasm coming out of the convention. Now she is trying to narrow the margins between what Trump got, what President Biden got, and what she's expected to get. She's trying to maximize, or rather minimize, her losses by maximizing her presence in states where there might not be a whole lot of support for her. And that strategy is to try to garner as many votes as she can, fringe votes here and there, to make the margin of Trump's victory smaller and thus increase her overall total by a wider margin. So I think it's an interesting strategy. We'll see if it pays dividends, but we know that she's been going to red states in Georgia. She's been hitting redder areas in Pennsylvania, and that is by no accident. This is a very deliberate strategy to try to go and show a presence where Democrats have really not had any kind of visibility.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, unfortunately. Joseph Williams, really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.